Go live instead of go live.
Go live.
Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Welcome back. I am joined today by my husband, Sean, and our friend, Connor, and we're going to be tier ranking some characters from Final Fantasy VII, 10, and 12. And we'll go through our naming of the tiers here. Sean's helped me figure out the naming. Sean, do you want to explain your contribution to the naming of the tiers?
I contributed Gil, right? That was my great contribution. Yes.
You did,
Everyone
yeah.
likes Gil. Gil is good.
Yeah,
Upper
it was
tier.
good. Yeah, summons are like, the absolute best at the very top. Sid's in the middle just because it's always there, it's not necessarily good or bad. Sometimes it's bad. But Sleep was Sean's contribution too, because I told him we need to find an annoying status ailment toward the bottom. And I suggested poison, and then you mentioned something else, right, Sean?
I think I said slow.
Slow, yes.
Yeah.
But I was like, sleep's the worst because if they get hit with magic, they don't wake up. And then you just sit there as all your characters slowly get hit by lightning over and over again and then die. And then I put Luca goers at the bottom because they're the most annoying blitzball team. So that is why they are there. So, Sean, I think we, of course, have to start off with Wakka, your personal favorite character from all of Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Where would you put Wakka? We'll try to balance it out.
So I want to say Luca goers just because I want to be obnoxious, but I'll go with Sleep. I'll put Wakka and Sleep. Wakka is he's got a lot of prejudice, man. He doesn't like those Al-Bhed. Like, it's because it's how you're raised. Gotta grow up. Wakka.
It's not very bright when there's an Al-Bhed right in front of him.
Also, less deep reason. His weapon's a ball. Like, it's like, come on.
But it's so
very
cool.
It's not.
And stuff.
Yeah, the spiky one. There's only like one spiky one. The rest of them are just like
now
dodgeballs.
So is it that you think he's a bad character, or do you think that you just find him annoying, but he's
really annoying? Is he well written? I guess I don't know. I find him annoying though.
Connor, what's that noise for?
Connor's like summon.
So no. For the sake of the bit, yes, he is a summon tier character. But Wakka wasn't great when the game came out, and he's aged even worse. But I love this game, so it's really hard for me to hate really anybody from it, even Wakka. My biggest gripe about him is he's really like a walking exposition dump. Like Danielle said, he's not very bright. Like he always, like, something will occur and he'll say like, huh, what? And then somebody else will be like, this is happening because of this. And like Wakka kind of exists to like explain lore to you. Yeah. He's very middle of the road for me. You can throw him under Sid if it were my vote.
It's all about that Yevon.
He's like a much worse version of because if you take the good parts of Tidus, which he has to some degree, where he's like a good part of the team and stuff like that, but then he's such a doofus. I think I'm not.
And Tidus definitely isn't a doofus. No.
At all. And I think Tidus is willing to listen a lot more than Wakka.
That's true.
Wakka, it's like Auron is constantly telling him basically how to do who he is, which is entertaining, but he almost exists for Auron to look even cooler, since he gets all his cool lines in to be like, you're ignorant and dumb, so you can stay here and believe that, but that's not the reality that's in front of you. I think I will maybe lean on the more negative side, because I think I'm going to be pretty positive for a lot of them, so I think I might put Sleep also.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
wow.
I mean,
I was not expecting
I will say, if Wakka is not and Luca goers, who is? That's the real question.
Good question.
Who's written so poor. We'll go ahead and get to another one that Sean really loves. Sean, Aerith, who's at the beginning of this list.
Oh my gosh.
So
I might hate her more than Wakka, actually.
So Wakka, if we had to give him a single word to describe him, it would probably be a himbo. And I feel like Aerith is like the manic pixie dream girl in one single character. I feel like she represents that really well, where she's just very floaty all the time.
Yeah, I'll put her at sleep also. I mean, so I haven't played the original 7, and we played pretty close to all of the remake, right? Yeah, so I just don't like the air of mystery because she's not that cool. Like, if she was like a really cool character, I'd be like, wow, like what's her backstory? But right now I'm just like, I don't care about her at all. So can we stop following her? Can we go do something more fun than follow her around? Not a fan.
What about you, Connor?
I'm gonna throw her in Sid category. Just because I do think so. In 7 original, I think she's pretty annoying. In remake, I think she's better done. And maybe it's because of the voice acting. I think she's actually. I have a lot of complaints with 7 remakes voice acting. I think Aerith is one of the better ones. I think it makes her a more interesting character. I think she's fun to play as well in that.
I think I have her above Wakka, but I also think when I first played the original, and we'll try not to reveal anything for anybody that has also only played the remake, doesn't know, but I kept thinking before I played it, because she has kind of like Sephiroth, she's sort of an iconic image for the game. She's sort of, when you think 7, you think Sephiroth, Cloud, and then her, I find, and she just doesn't feel like she's even in the game as much. It's kind of like what Sean was saying. There's always this air of mystery, and then she's gone for a while. And so I don't hate her character. She's not my favorite character by any means. But I also just think that she is more of an idea than she is actually a character. She's not as fleshed out as I would like. So I think I might put her in Sid. I don't dislike her.
2 against 1. I said sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Democracy.
It's Sid.
Okay. We'll go with one that I know one of you really likes, which is Riku. So,
Summons here. No explanation.
Sean, where would you put Riku?
So as a character, kind of annoying, but not like the most annoying. But I will give her extra points for so when you were playing this last time, I think you got her speed a lot, and like characters like just like when they're really fast, they just like freak out, and hers is the best. Like because she's always kind of like bobbing, but when she's really fast, it's like I'm just like, whoa. So I'll go Gil for that alone, because it's pretty great. I like it.
She's a Gil character. She's a little annoying sometimes, but she's very endearing and sweet, and she's willing to stand up to Wakka, and she's
breaking down barriers.
Yeah. And
pioneer.
Yeah. So that's 2. Sorry.
Gil, fine. Just
So, Sean, who's a character you would put in Summons?
Easy. Kimahri.
Kimahri. Okay. Oh, I was thinking he would be a different character.
Kimahri. Kimahri Summons. Because he's loyal and good and nice. And he's the last of something. I don't know.
He's the last of some.
Ron.
What? Ronso.
They're not.
It's not the very last. Yeah, there's some other. There's like a whole that mountain. Yeah. But he's like little. You don't realize it. He's like a little Ronso. He's a little Ronso that could. That's why he's summoned. That's why he's summoned.
Big heart.
Exactly.
He is really cute when he talks about how Yuna, when they rode the shoe puff, and she jumped in when she was little, and he was like, Kimahri scared, or whatever he said. She's like, sorry. I'm like, no, he's very sweet. And when he tries to go back and fight alone, and then they all come back, and he's like, ah. But I think Kimahri's a pretty solid character. I think I would maybe also put him in Gil. I like him a lot. But you get a glimpse of his story toward the end, because of course we have to have the cold mountainous area toward the end of the game. But I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more into his backstory and everything. It's very minimal. What do you think, Connor? Where does he go for you?
I'll go Gil again. But I do think his backstory is one of the more interesting ones in a Final Fantasy game. Kind of like the outcast of his tribe type of thing. And he is one of Yuna's original guardians, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he watched her since she was a little girl.
Yeah, I like that about him.
Yeah, he's sweet. So, Sean, is that okay that he's not in summons?
Democracy. I already said I support democracy. So.
Okay. Well,
I'm on the record. Pro democracy.
A character I would put in summons would be Balthier. He's cool. He's suave. He has a cool. As far as him in combat, he's really cool because he's got the gun, so he can fight the aerial enemies. And the voice acting, I really liked the actor for his voice. I just think he's cool. He has an interesting past that you uncover throughout the game. So I put him in summons. Sean,
all I'm hearing right now is that you value coolness more than loyalty, which is kind of hurtful.
In a Final Fantasy game, though, that's a big thing. How cool?
How cool are they?
I mean, think about him compared to Vaan. He single-handedly made me want to, I feel like, not him alone. There's plenty about 12 that's cool, but Vaan brings it down a lot. So I'm like, Balthier has to bring it up, you know? Where would you put him, Sean? Even though your memory's a little fun.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a whole lot of a dog in the race on this one. But I said Aerith was Sid, so I guess for consistency's sake, I think I remember liking him more than her, so we'll go Gil.
Okay. And then Connor, where's Balthier?
See, I feel like I should have put Wakka down and Luca Goers. I think I made my mistake. That was I needed a bottom tier. I need him at the very bottom to work my way up. Now
You can put him in Gil.
You don't seem very strongly attached to him. It's interesting.
Well, so I played 12 when it came out. So I watched a little thing last night in prep for this, and I was like, my little brain, when I played that game, did not comprehend any of this. I was like, this is the story of this game? Holy cow. But I do remember kind of like what you said. I was like, Balthier is like super cool. And so I'll give him the coolness points.
Do you remember much of his backstory? Was that in the recap that you were? No.
It like brushes over it. So I found one that was like 3 hours, and I was like, yeah, I don't have time to watch that. And so I watched the one that was like 13 minutes. I was like, perfect.
3 hours, 13.
Yeah, but like, because I think the game came out in 2005, 2006.
It was quite a while.
It was like end of the PS2 era, and because Final Fantasy X was my first experience, and so I was thinking like Final Fantasy 12 would be like same thing, and then it wasn't, and so I was kind of like a little turned off by that, but I liked the characters and I liked the fighting system, so I just kind of stuck with it. And of course I was like 14, so I was like, I don't know what's happening, but it's cool.
I will say, I thought even though 10's story goes really off the walls in a lot of ways, I almost think 12 was harder to keep track of. But it could be because I experienced a really similar thing where I thought exactly like you, where I was hoping it would be really like 10. And then when it was different, it was much more political. And it didn't seem like it had a set main character or a set couple main characters. Because I found I kept wanting to either follow Balthier or Ash a little bit more in the forefront, and you kind of bounce around. So I I do really want to go back and replay it so that it's a little more refreshed. But I know I joke all the time about him being super cool and everything like that, but I really thought he was a great character. Another super cool character, Auron, for me goes in summons. I think Auron is you get a little bit more of his character than Kimahri's, because I really like Kimahri, but that's part of why he's a little lower. But Auron is, I think, all around an interesting character. He's kind of the protector of the group, the wise mentor, but then you see how he learned from how he was in the past. You get a lot with his character. I think he's really well done. Where would you put him, Sean?
I'll go summons. He's a good character.
We have our first.
Is that it?
Or just well, I still want to know your thoughts.
So I would say summons as well, and without being too spoilery, Auron has the best, I guess, complete arc.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy X. I used to think he was so cool because you can even see in that picture his arm is like this, right? I don't know why. I thought it was so cool that he had his sword like this and his arm like this. I used to walk around like this. So cool.
In a sleeve.
Yeah.
Isn't there something to his character design that's supposed to be like a samurai who's gone against his code or something like that in the way he in the design of his character, which I thought was interesting since he kind of is against the teachings in a lot of ways and he goes against the norm. So I think that tie into his design was really cool, and he's just a really cool character. But I agree that the entirety of his arc is really well done, and how he relates to all the other characters, I think, is really cool. You get the occasional interaction between him and Riku, which is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like her in the Thunder Plains when she's terrified, and he was like basically like, "Oh my gosh, fine, we'll stop just to shut her up." So it's fun to see.
What a nice guy. Yeah. Put him in the sun.
Yeah.
Nice guy. To the top.
Well, we have to find somebody that we all can collectively decide goes in the bottom. Who goes in the bottom? I feel like it can't just be someone we dislike. It has to also be a not as well written character. I think for me, it's Vaan. Vaan is just he's not a great character, and I was frustrated when I started 12 because I was like, I'm going to hold out hope that I like this guy, and I didn't even a little bit.
I don't honestly remember. I remember vaguely him being kind of annoying. I'm basing it off his little boy band picture here too. So like, boo Vaan.
He's so, if I'm remembering correctly, he's also really whiny. He's always
pretty whiny.
And I don't remember how old he is. I'm gonna look it up really quick, but I just remember
we go 14.
Are you trying to guess now?
17.
17? Wow.
Yeah. And just to be clear, supposedly from what I'm looking up right now, it's the same age as Tidus. But I'm like,
Tidus is 17?
Yeah, that's what it says. I thought he was 19 and Yuna was like 16 or 17, I thought. But the internet says he's 17. But maybe if I were to keep searching, it would say, because I could have sworn that the strategy guide said Tidus was older than that. Let me see if anything else says.
17 years old.
Ooh.
There's a Reddit thing that says there's no way the Final Fantasy X characters are as young as they are. Anyway, so yeah, I just think Vaan, he acts more, in my opinion, like a middle schooler, not somebody that's, because 17 in fantasy worlds is usually more like 22 to 25, right. Not a modern 17-year-old. But I just don't think he seems 17 even a little. He just seems whiny, and because I think Ash is only 19, right? I'm gonna look it up. Yep, she's 19. And then let's see, Balthier I think is like 20, early 20s, but he seems older.
What? Balthier.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Balthier
I
is
think
22.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, but
so young.
He makes them seem like the Aurons of the group because of just the difference in how they behave. Because Penelo's very sweet and youthful and young feeling, but she's not absurdly annoying and whiny. So I'm putting Vaan in the bottom for myself, but where would you put him?
He can be in the bottom.
No, none of us have. I think the lack
mean,
of how much we remember about him too says a lot.
Yeah, he's just very annoying. That's it.
Now, Sean, we'll bounce back to someone we all like a little bit more. Sean, where would you put Tifa?
Ooh, it's a hard one. Tifa, big fan of Tifa. Let's just shoot for the stars. Let's go summons. You know, like she boxes, and yeah, she's great, really great.
Question, Sean. It annoys you that Wakka's weapon is a blitz ball, but it doesn't annoy you that she punches.
She's
everything?
been training her body to become a weapon. Wakka's been playing blitzball. It's different.
Okay. That's a really good explanation.
Just want to clarify. I honestly like Tifa. I don't even remember her backstory. I don't even really remember her character. She's fine. I mean, I don't really have a.
I think the big thing is you liked her
fine
more
or
than
she's
Aerith.
Say that I liked her more than Aerith.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no doubt. Aerith was.
I feel like
was
that
super
was-
annoying.
because you were like, "What?" You kept telling me you're like, "It feels like the game is trying to make this love triangle, and if I have to pick, Tifa all the way." Like you just kept getting frustrated at the idea of anything else. I like Tifa a lot. I didn't like her as much the first time I played the game, but on the replay and in Advent Children and stuff, which probably doesn't count, but I really like her character. She's protective and she's sweet and she's nice, but I think she's gonna fight for the people that she loves. So
Protective, sweet, and nice wasn't enough for Kimahri. Not enough for him to get that summoner spot or summon spot.
We don't get as much as Kimahri. Connor, where would you put Tifa?
Tifa is a summon for sure.
Oh wow! All right, yeah.
Because she's a badass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay! That's all. That was the only explanation. So,
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I think if you put those two up at the top, okay, if you put those two against everybody else so far, they would win. That's it.
Think so?
Yeah.
You don't think Balthier would just shoot?
Nope. She uses her fists. She's fine. It doesn't matter.
She punched the bullet.
Yeah.
She'll get in there before he can. Yeah. She'll punch the bullet. Just explodes on impact, but somehow she's unscathed. Yeah, I like Tifa a lot. Now, Connor, if you had to choose Tifa or Riku, I know that you told us that Riku awakened something in young Connor, so I think she has that edge. Grown man.
Probably because, I played Final Fantasy X first, but I do think Tifa's a much better written character than Riku is. Especially, there's so much Final Fantasy VII content. Like you said earlier, there's Advent Children and stuff. There's so much more backstory to her. I feel like she's much more explored, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. Somebody who, let's go Cloud now, since we're already talking about Final Fantasy VII. I really like Cloud, but in the remake, there's not much going on with him. So it's hard to, because it was so long ago that I played the original, but I always found Cloud very compelling and interesting. But him as a character is hard to dissect because it's tied so much to how convoluted everything is and you wondering what's even going on. And you kind of have to rediscover Cloud as Cloud is rediscovering himself, I'll say. So I think he's a really interesting character, but in the remake thus far, we just haven't seen as much. He doesn't have as much personality. He's kind of the quiet type like Kimahri, but when you don't get the completed game, for anybody who only knows him through the remake, it's kind of hard to feel like there's much to him at all. So if I'm basing it off of everything of Cloud, I kind of want to put him in at least Gil, but if we're looking at just remake Cloud, I feel like it's sit or sleep because there's just not much going on currently, even though it's really cool.
So I want to say as someone who at this time doesn't know everything about Cloud because I did play the original, I would still say he's a solid Gil. I think he's a pretty cool chap. I liked him. He's kind of moody, but I feel like it's a good offset when a lot of the other characters are like really happy. Like it's kind of nice that he's just like, kind of grumpy.
He is a very edgy boy.
Yeah.
Sure. Not as edgy as Vincent, though, who you don't even know yet, Sean.
Vincent's so edgy, but he's so cool.
Yeah, he is. Vincent's kind of got some parallels to, I feel like, he just feels a little Alucard-like from Castlevania. But, Connor, where would you put Cloud?
I think based on remake alone, which is kind of what I've been doing here, because it's been so long since I played the original, I'm going to put him in Gil. Just because he is that, like, kind of mysterious, and you don't know the whole thing, even if you've played the Crisis Core remaster that came out, everything, you kind of can piece things together. But he's kind of moody, like you said. He's mysterious, a little too mysterious. He's grumpy almost. Like, and I still think his hair is really cool, so he gets a gift.
Bonus points for the hair.
What about Barret? Barret is I feel like he's cool, but he also kind of similar to Wakka. They really went so extreme with him that he just doesn't feel like a real person. I'm not sure. I feel like he's
he's kind of
fleet.
I feel like he's like Seven's Wakka. I think he's Sleep for me, personally.
Barret was my Luca goers. I can't stand him. And maybe it's the voice actor, but it just felt like over the top almost. Like,
yeah, it is.
Screen, I was like, my dude, please stop.
They reined it in, because in the original, there's so many times since there's no voice acting that there's just constant when they can't say the curse word, so they just put like hashtag and the sign. Like sometimes it's just that for his entire dialogue. So I think they were trying to still pull from that, but it kind of has a charm and a humor to it when it's in the original. But in the remake, I'm like, just try to go for a more of a person, a real person.
Yeah.
So I think balanced out, he's in the Sleep category, I'd say.
I can't notice that you don't have Jesse from Final Fantasy VII on here.
No, I do not. I think we should do a villain next. I think we should. So Sean kept earlier today. I was mentioning Seymour would be on the list, and Sean goes, "Seymour? Who's that?" And I was like, "Seymour from 10, who's the creepy villain guy." And then Sean was like, Sean said, in my head, the villain of 10 is Sin. So I was just like, that's who the villain is, and he completely forgot about Seymour. So Sean, where would you put Seymour? You should kick it off.
I mean, so how are we judging villains? Like how villainous they are, or like,
how good of a villain are they? I think he's a
pretty good villain.
He's a good villain.
I would say a Gil level villain.
I feel like almost more iconic than he's not more iconic than Sephiroth for sure, but within the Final Fantasy X character list, for me, he almost stands out as the villain more than Sin, even though Sin's the thing wreaking havoc on the entire world.
Yeah.
He obviously, you're going to see more of him as a person, I suppose. So maybe that's what it is. But
see more of him?
Yes.
Hey.
I might put him in Summons just because I think he is a really solid villain, and he has almost like an Elden Ring-esque origin as far as you don't get it all unless you do a lot of the side quests and you look into his backstory a little bit more, and then you piece together. There's really cool war videos about him and everything that kind of talk about the parallels between him and Yuna, parallels between him and Tidus and their upbringing, and just the different directions that these characters went in, despite certain similarities. I don't know. I think he's interesting. So I might put him in Summons.
I'd put him in Gil I do think I mean, you kind of hit like every point. He's interesting. He's flawed, but to a point where like it's not just like blatantly flawed. He's almost, you can kind of understand him. And I think, I don't know. I think you fight him 4 times in the game.
Definitely fight him a lot, and you fight as him.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is there's kind of that twist that like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
because he kind of starts out as a friend, and then slowly, you know, everything unfolds, and I'm gonna put Sephiroth in summon, so I don't want to put him there.
Okay. Okay. See, I might disagree. I might put, so Sephiroth is, I said earlier, he's iconic. I don't think there is too many other characters. I mean, people almost think of him more when they think of 7 than they do any of the main characters, any of the heroes. And he's not in the remake very much, and they seem to be changing the story, and so I don't really know, but he's just so menacing as soon as he comes onto the screen. But I might put him in for now. It's hard because, Connor, like you were saying before, it's hard for us to separate original from remake. Do we think of him in remake, or do we think of him in his entirety? But there's just something about him, as soon as he's on screen, you just feel that sense of wrongness, I guess. So I don't know. I think I would want to, I don't think I'm as in love with him as a villain as a lot of other people, because people will treat him like he's the greatest villain in Final Fantasy, but also in gaming. Like, people really think of him up high, and they love the weapon and things like that. But I might put him in Gil. Sean, it's you're not the greatest tiebreaker.
I'm gonna recuse myself. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I just want to bring up that, and maybe this shouldn't count, but the soundtrack that plays during the fight with Sephiroth is iconic, and that for me is enough.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and put him in summons. Since Sean can't be a tiebreaker, I'll go to you. You have the senior vote because you're a little older.
Yay!
So there's a few on here that Sean's not as familiar with that I don't even know if we should do.
Oh yeah, a few.
But like Red 13, so Yuffie, Sean I don't think even knows. Yuffie's like original Riku in a lot of ways. So there's a few I might not do on this list, but let's go Yuna, because we all know who Yuna is. Sean, where would you put Yuna?
Summons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Summon status.
I love Yuna. I might put her up in summons also. She
will sacrifice for her friends.
She'll do whatever.
Much like Kimahri, another summon-worthy candidate.
Sean is not letting you go, huh?
No.
At the Honest trailer. Have you ever watched the Honest trailer for Final Fantasy X? Oh, they talk about how she's like the perfect woman because she's like a little girl sacrifice. Like in like RPGs and stuff. and then they talk about how she has to collect all the Pokemon and stuff like that. But I would put her in summons because she's very sweet, and she's trying to always give hope to everyone, and she takes on everything really well. But she's still, you see those moments where she's vulnerable and she cracks a little, and it just makes her feel like a real person. I love her. So I would put her in summons also. But Connor, where would you put her, even though you vote for summons?
Put her up at the top.
Yeah.
Nothing much else to say that hasn't been said. I mean, she's a great. She's easy to relate to. Like, it's not that I've been through what she has, but just like the things she goes through, like, humanizes her.
Yeah.
I think for a game that came out in like 2001, her voice acting is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay, Jecht. He's one of the sort of in between. He's obviously not a hero, and we're gonna try to keep this part spoiler free for anybody that hasn't played through enough of 10. But I know he's not as present in the game as a lot of the other characters.
Or in his son's life.
Yes.
So
he went out to sea and never came back.
Yeah.
Dad went out for cigarettes and
Tidus, I'll be back. I'm gonna go buy some milk. I'll be real quick.
He wasn't the best even when he was around. He wasn't good there.
really abusive.
We do see he's an interesting character though, in that through a lot of the spheres that you can find. I can't remember what they're called, but basically memory spheres, when he talks to Tidus and he's kind of going through his regret and everything. I think that's an interesting story there and an interesting character to explore. So I like him as a character, as far as the writing of his character, even though as a person he's kind of not great. Where would you put him, Connor?
I think you can throw him in Sid.
Okay.
Maybe low Gil. I do think he is very interesting. I think you have to kind of overlook all the bad he's done, but the bad he's done is what makes him interesting. So, and then I do think he kind of, I don't want to say anything. So just ignore it.
Yeah.
I will say Sid. I do find him interesting, but the beginning of the game kind of lays it on thick. He's almost like Rudolph's dad in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Where, like, it's basically like, you're bad at blitzball. I'm good at blitzball. And, like, it just feels like...
hot.
Yeah, like, it feels like, Rudolph being like, no son of mine will have a red nose. It's like, whoa. I don't know. I don't like it.
I remember my dad once, the fact that I think he like came in while I was playing the game or something and heard Tidus say like, my old man. And I'm like, oh, that's what he called his dad. And he's like, that's disrespectful. And I'm like, his dad kind of sucks. So it's like, I think there's a reason for it. But I was thinking Gil, like you said, Connor, low Gil as well. And so I think average out to Sid. I think he's an interesting character for sure. But it's interesting too in that if you didn't find, I'm trying to remember, because I don't think you can get all of them just by playing the story. I think some of them you have to find, right, to be able to see all of his.
That sounds right, yeah.
So it's possible to play through the game and not get as much of that connection. Since we talked about the father, we'll talk about the son. Where are we putting Tidus? This is kind of difficult for me because he's a bit annoying, but he's kind of lovable and he does what he can for everyone else. But there's also the part where he's like, this is my story in front of everyone, and Yuna's like, my story too. So sometimes I feel like he needs to calm down a little bit, but I do love him. And he's just kind of a goofy, bumbling idiot who's doing his best. He takes everything in stride. So I do like him. He's one of those characters where it's like, oh, because I think I was really young when it came out. And I'm like, I didn't know I could like a character this much who I find kind of annoying, if that makes sense. Yep. He's not perfect. So I'm not sure where I would put him. I have to defer to both of you.
So I'm going to say summons. And just because the growth that Tidus has from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, he is a completely different person. And like, I feel like we keep like the good characters where like they're well written, well voice acted, all that stuff. Tidus is all of those. And on top of that, I think he really has the biggest change by the end of everything. So he's in a summons tier for me.
Sean, where did you put him?
I was going to say summons as well. I think he's endearing.
Yay. That makes me happy. Just endearing. Sean, you didn't have... I mean, Connor kind of summed up really well. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we only have, I think, one other Final Fantasy X character we haven't talked about yet, and that would be Lulu. She's a character who you get a couple moments where you actually see her more vulnerable. And her backstory is really sad with Tapu and everything. But she's kind of, everything about her is like, I'm the black mage of the group. So I think in comparison to some of the other characters, I like her, she's cool, but she might just be a Cid to me.
I was gonna say Cid when I saw her. I was like, she's fine, but she doesn't stand out particularly to me. She's kind of just middle of the road.
Yeah.
I was gonna say low Gil because Lulu was the sole reason why I beat Cid. So thanks, Lulu.
I think, Sean, you're gonna have to just base this off of the fuzzy memories, or you can just be a curveball in whatever Connor and I say about these next ones. But Fran. I remember Fran actually, she was kind of Kimahri-like in that she had an outcast situation too. But I'm the most fuzzy, I feel like, on her out of all of the 12 characters. But I actually thought she was really cool. I might put her in Cid because of how memorable she was, but I almost wonder if we were to go back and play it again, if I would feel differently.
I really liked Fran when I played through it. Again, been a long time, so I don't know why. But I was looking at the pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Fran. Okay. So I'm like, based on the little memory I have alone, I'll throw her in Cid.
Okay.
I think Sean. I think what Sean should do is make up things about the people.
That's a great plan. So I should just give really passionate opinions about all the ones you don't know about.
Yeah.
So Sean, what would you say about Fran?
Well, a little known fact about Fran, she's actually very good at American football.
Oh, Yuna. That's true.
What position? What position did she play?
Linebacker.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. Well, oh,
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, something happened, but we're back.
We changed.
I switched places.
Oh, Connor's better than me. Oh no, I'm a Luca goer. Oh God.
I don't think Fran liked you lying about her. She did something there. But I think we can put her in Cid. I think that's fair. I thought Penelo was really sweet. I don't know how she put up with Vaan. I'm like, get better friends. That's what I thought of her. But I might put her in Cid as well. I don't think she's as cool as Balthier. She's sweet, but she's not Yuna level. She's like, she could go and kill. Yeah. I think gut though, she's in Cid. Sean, what are some things that we've forgotten about Penelo?
After the events of Final Fantasy XII, she actually retired to the countryside and began growing cucumbers and pickling them. She opened Penelo's pickling company and actually distributes. Wow. It's grown quite a bit. A lot of, can buy them anywhere. Yeah.
I don't like pickles.
Buy them anywhere. 5 gil for a jar.
I think based on that alone, you have to throw her up there.
It's just 7 gil.
Yeah.
I think we might play her in Cid. But it is great. But that's after the events of the game, you know. It's not.
Oh yeah,
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
I think we'll go ahead and go the remaining 12 characters since Sean's not familiar with the other. But you can make up stories about them too, Sean.
Wonderful.
Please do.
Ash. I thought Ash was really cool. The only thing that really sticks in my memory, though, is that I don't know what it was, but they turned the volume way up every time she breathed. It was like, you should go back and listen. I wish somebody's made a montage of this. Just so much every time. I'm like, why? What?
I'm going to try and find one. Ash breathing.
Well, so I might as well tell you, she actually had hay fever. That's why she was...
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so... but she got help for that afterwards. Yeah.
There is a video called Ash's Gasping Moments. And it's got 22,000 views.
Hold on, should we watch? Oh, we might not be able to play it during.
Maybe at the end. Yeah, maybe at the end.
Finish, so yeah, maybe at the end.
Can you just play the audio? Can you put it up to your mic? I'm saying I would pull it up on the screen, but I'm saying because someone's.
Wow.
And that goes on for another 50.
Okay, so I'm not the only person that always noticed how loud breathing was. That's amazing. I feel like that brings her down a little bit, you know? I'm just gotta learn.
Yeah.
Don't be such a mouth breather. Just stick to your nose, you know? So I'll go ahead and say she's somewhere between Gil and Sid. She's certainly not a summons. I think I'm leaning like high Sid for her, but she's pretty. I still like her a lot.
Sean, what did you? Oh, she had hay 50. That's right.
They really shouldn't make fun of her.
Yeah. What are the comments like on that video?
There's one that said, "I really like the part where she goes." There's a lot of people saying finally somebody else picked up on this. Yeah, just a lot of that.
Okay. I like that other comment quite a bit. But Connor, loud breathing aside, where would you rank Ash?
I was gonna say sleep. But,
oh yeah?
A high sleep above Wakka.
Yeah.
But she's not really that memorable.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll put her average out in Sid.
Yeah.
Or do you really think? I just don't think she.
I don't think she fits in with Wakka and Barret, so you can throw her.
Yeah.
In Sid.
Now, if we were really committed to being making difficult decisions, then we would go within each category.
Yes.
And rank them. I don't know if I can do that because I'm really indecisive. That's why I keep being like, what do you guys think? I liked Bosch. This will be the last main one we do. I liked Bosch a lot. He had an interesting backstory. But I think that as far as the like kind of quiet protector type, he's certainly not on par with Auron.
Yeah.
But he was interesting. And I think he made Ash more interesting, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'd put him at least in high Sid, maybe Gil.
I think part of the problem I have with 12 is that I played 10 first. And so everyone kind of had big shoes to fill. And is Auron's, and Auron's those are very big shoes. So he was never bad, just wasn't Auron. So I'll agree with Sid. If you want to even put him in front of it, Aerith, that's fine.
He actually started a podcast with retired basketball star Chris Bosh. It's called Bosh and Bosh.
I like that.
And they talk about the NBA, video games. You know, it's a great podcast.
Should we try to clean up each category here? Like, man, can we choose between, Tifa and Auron, and I don't know. That's rough. Sean,
I think Summons is pretty well set.
Okay.
But I would move Yuna, I think
above Sephiroth?
Yeah. But I don't know Sephiroth. I'm like, I don't know his name, man.
But you wouldn't put her over Tifa.
Maybe. Again, like Tifa, Yuna's like a bigger character.
Yeah. It is actually her story.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But Connor's saying no. Don't put her above. I might put her above Tifa.
I only said that Sean couldn't because he already moved Sephiroth down, so he
That's true. I can't.
Okay. And what about Tidus Sephiroth? Wow, those are such different characters. But
I say keep
Okay. Now, I really want to put Balthier at the front of Gil.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I love Balthier.
I want to put Seymour
At
up
least-
there.
At least above Riku. I think he's at least above Riku. Do we disagree?
Okay, so
Can I give you mine? I'll give you mine. I'll go Kimahri, Cloud,
Okay.
Seymour.
Let's put it where you have it. You're just putting Balthier at the end?
No, I'll put him in front of Riku.
come on, man.
Okay, and Connor, how would you rearrange that?
I would have done Cloud, Balthier, Kimahri, Riku, Seymour.
Okay. Oh man, I think I would go Balthier, but I'm very biased. I just think he's really cool. I think he's the coolest. It's very hard for me to like the suave character because I usually just think they're corny.
But
he
look at
actually-
Cloud's hair.
That's true. Look at Cloud's hair. It's pretty amazing.
I think that one, I think Riku should be at the end. Sorry, Connor. But I don't know if I can really distinguish from there. I think it's too, I would go back and forth constantly. So I'm fine leaving it like that.
Even though
Um,
she's at the end on the page, she is number one in my heart. So
Okay. That's good.
Noted.
We'll remember. I kind of think what I'm getting out of this whole thing is that the three of us need to play Final Fantasy 12 together.
yes.
Where would you change much about the Sid category? Sean, I think, would put Aerith pretty much at the end.
I would put Lulu at the top. Aerith at the end.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's just there. She's almost at Gil. I just don't think she's quite there.
I would say I think Jecht is high up just because even though you didn't get a lot of him, his growth and everything throughout the story is pretty good. And how it sort of mirrors how Tidus is growing and everything I think is interesting. Yeah, that's it.
I would move Fran up
Okay.
and I would.
So we'll go.
Well, I think because I think you can leave the front four.
Barret and Wakka.
Wakka. Push him over.
Can we drop Wakka down one to
Down to Luca Goers.
Yeah.
I'll vote for that. I'll revise.
Oh, I don't know. I just find Vaan so annoying. But
No,
it's
you're
very
right.
fun.
Vaan is in his own. He's in his own realm.
Vaughn's just bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Well,
Who's that?
okay.
Okay, wait. A reference that the three of us know. Who's that guy from Too Hot to Handle that always talk like this?
Come on.
What was his name?
Like, there were other people on that show that you're like, that person's a pig or that person's
Yeah.
annoying. And then he came along and you're like, you're a new level of annoying.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try and find
You guys are going to both look it up.
Creed.
Creed.
Yeah.
Creed McKinnon.
Yeah, look at. I feel like very nice. Thank you for that. He was supposed
Put
to have that.
picture in place of Vaan.
Sean,
He does have really good abs. I don't know if Vaughn does, but Creed does.
which would you switch Wakka and Barret, or do you feel like
100%.
you guys both wanted him lower? So I feel like
But Connor would probably. Connor, which one do you not like? Doesn't
I
matter.
only I wanted to put Barret and Luca.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I don't really. I actually like Wakka, so
okay, Sean.
ironically like.
Okay, so we'll put. I think we'll just leave it like that then.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. Because Barret, I'm like, is it like you were saying? Is it the voice acting they gave him, or he's not? He doesn't have the best. I don't know. He's not their best.
He's kind of too intense. He feels like just like a stereotype of like the rebel leader. Like you're just like, oh, like from the get go, he's just yelling at everybody, and you're like,
But he does love his
it's kind of a lot.
Brings it
That's
up.
true. I do like that
He loves
part.
her a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. Better than Jecht.
I feel like he does have, he does have that surprising factor where he's not necessarily what you'd expect for someone who's like loving the planet, you know? Usually you think of like someone who's all peaceful and nice. You would think a Yuna type, and he's not like Yuna at all. He's like, the planet. We got to protect the planet. So he's got that.
Maybe it's all a front because he's scared to let people in. You know?
Maybe.
That's probably it. So, Connor, did you want to try to place those bottom 4? Or are you okay? Not bottom, but the ones that we haven't done. Are you okay not doing that?
I can just wrap it and place them right now if you want me to.
Okay, go for it.
Yuffie, you can put her in Sid right next to Aerith.
Okay.
Vincent, I'd throw him in Gil because he's super cool.
I'd put him in Gil too.
Red 13
is cool.
He's cool. Put him like middle Sid.
Okay. We'll go maybe like
that's good
there?
right there.
Or maybe above.
Is Red 13 another 7 character?
Yeah.
Yeah, all these
he's at the very end of the remake.
Okay.
And is that Kate Sis? Is that I don't remember anything about. So I could go.
Lie. Oh. we'll put in. You know what? We'll put sleep. We'll just leave it sleep.
All right.
Okay. All right. There's our tier ranking for these characters.
I say that Yuna's picture looks very weird, and it looks like it's half of Tidus's face and half of her face.
Yeah,
what I see.
That's kind of true.
I think it's the shadow.
Yeah, but it just looks.
Have her face.
It looks off to me.
I just want to say Wakka's face looks really stupid.
I think that's the same picture that I had.
Yeah, I know. I did that on purpose. It's like the one picture of him that's decent. Because the rest, he's like looking upset. I can probably find. Let me see if I can find some of the other pictures. Because he just looks grumpy and kind of dumb all the time. Oh, perfect. Hold on. This is perfect. Let me pull this one up and share. Let me see. I have to stop this screen, I think, to do it. But we'll say that was the final. And then now, let's get to this. Look at that face.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
So,
like,
look at the little pursing lips one. Yeah.
Poster right there. I like that. It's in stock at
the Etsy one. Yeah. Oh, excuse you, Luna. Sean, were you talking about this one?
Yeah, it's like his selfie one right there. Yeah.
Yeah. In cosplay.
Who has
a better
picture, though?
I don't know any prayers.
So that one?
Wakka versus Creed.
Yeah.
This was very fun. Let me get rid of it.
Oh wait. Oh, never mind.
Oh, was there another picture of him?
I just wanted to see the still of him like doing his like celebration thing where he's just like, which is also funny when he goes fast, like with speed. It's like
because
right.
Well, it's his hip motion that amuses Sean.
Yeah, it's pretty great
because he laughs. He has a big like belly laugh, but
it's more than his belly moving. It's actually pretty graphic. I'm kind of like, whoa.
Okay, we'll wrap it up since we're going off the rails. Thanks, Connor, for joining us.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
All the facts that we didn't know about these characters. Taper, Pickles.
Yeah.
Bosch and Bosch.
And the linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining. This was very fun. And we're very excited for Final Fantasy 16. So, yay. Bye.